Welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbao. Now, tonight, former Ghana international Asamoah Gyan believes that Mohammed Kudus should be the face of the Black Stars team. According to Gyan, the West Ham United midfielder, performances for both club and country warrant the team to be built around him. Since making his debut in 2019, Kudus has become a fan favourite in the national team and has repaid the support with 9 goals in 26 games for the Black Stars. However, Gyan has urged handlers of the national team to build a team around the 23-year-old versatile midfielder. He's been speaking on the Ultimate Sports Show on Asamoah FM.
Player will say you're building the national team around.
So far, no, it's obvious. It's obvious. And if make us say it's obvious, you know.
Yeah,
it's Mohammed Kudus.
Not today, are you?
It's Mohammed Kudus. And say, time when I was coming up, now we have Michael Asians, we have Stephen Appiah.
Yeah.
But they do me so. Because
we feed the team around you. You say you're dancing. You were the captain. And I don't know you.
Players are very trouble. I better play Arabai.
Yeah.
Stephen Appiah Arabai. Michael Asian Arabai. Asamoah Gyan Arabai. I think
they say Kudus era.
It looks like it because Kudus is the only Ghanaian player performing in Europe.
Well
in Europe. And in your league, they say Premier League.
Wow.
He's the only Ghanaian performing. He's doing so well. And now only Ghanaian in Africa. He's doing so well in Africa. He's the only African player for now. He's doing so well.
Wow.
So we have to just support him.
Well, that's a very interesting comment there by the former Ghana captain. It has generated some controversy on social media. And Fifi Manfred is one person who does close-up analysis of the Black Stars team. He's been doing that for quite some years now. He's with Insura FM in Kumasi. He joins me via Zoom to explore this very submission by the former Ghana captain. Fifi, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Just help me appreciate exactly what Asamoah Gyan meant when he said that Otto Addo should build a team around Mohammed Kudus. For those who do not appreciate football, the football intricacies, just as I appreciate, what does it mean when Asamoah Gyan said that Otto Addo should build the Black Stars around Mohammed Kudus?
Thank you very much, Musbao. I think that essentially, if Asamoah Gyan is saying the Black Stars should be built around Mohammed Kudus, he's saying that he should be the cornerstone for our team. He should be the key core on which we do everything. And the team should be built based on his strength. We should play based on his strength. Because if you look at Mohammed Kudus, he's the kind of player that does a lot of things. He is a nimble-footed player, can control the game in central areas, can also affect the game from coming outside. So essentially what he's trying to say is that how we play should suit Mohammed Kudus. We should play to the strength of Mohammed Kudus. And I think that I agree, because if you look at our team, he said that he's the only Ghanaian player performing well outside. That's I disagree slightly. But what I think Asamoah wanted to say was that he's the best performing Ghanaian out there in being consistent for a while now. And then we know the number of goals and assists that he has given to West Ham United. I mean, he's the only player with 50+ possession won. He's the only player with 50+ dribbles, 50+ fouls won this season, especially for his age. He's a top player. We hear that he's part of the ground in terms of being the best young player in the English Premier League and then the best new signing in the English Premier League this season. So essentially, Asamoah Gyan is saying that we should build our team to the strength, to see the strength of Mohammed Kudus. We should make sure that he's the kind of player that gets the end of things for us, because he has everything at the end of the day. He has the ball striking, he has the dribbling, he has the ball carrying, and he has everything that we need. In fact, he has the creative ability to make things happen for us. So however we play, the thought should be that Mohammed Kudus should be at the end, should benefit, it should be to the strength of Mohammed Kudus.
But I mean, Fifi, when you look at how teams are built across the world, is that the model that you pick one player and you build a team around such a player? And if that is the case, there are those who question that when such a player is not available, like we saw Mohammed Kudus being unavailable in some situation, wouldn't that affect the overall objective of the team if you decide to build it on just one person?
I mean, if you look at best practices elsewhere, teams are built on certain players, and these players are trailblazers. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything that the team does has to be to only the benefits of that player, but that player we should harness the quality of that player essentially. So you remember that Lionel Messi ran with Barcelona. Essentially, while there was Xavi and Iniesta and whatnot, it was also about Lionel Messi. When Lionel Messi's exploits dwindled and he got older and he dropped centrally to come and create from deep areas for Barcelona, it was still to make sure that we get the best out of Lionel Messi. What is Lionel Messi giving us now? How can we best fit him into our team? Because we know that this guy can turn up and make things happen within a split of a second. So it doesn't necessarily mean that Kudus will be the only go-to guy. We'll have other ways of playing. We'll have the main structure. But in that structure, we are looking at harnessing the qualities of Mohammed Kudus. And because we want to make sure at the end of the day, because he's our best player, we harness the quality and we make sure we make the best use of his quality. And I think that's important. A lot of teams will not necessarily want to do that because you can be easily picked out. But it's important. Look at this Manchester City team with Erling Haaland now. City used to play with a false nine where a lot of people used to score. This time, it's essentially a number 9 proper with Erling Haaland. So chances are created for Erling Haaland. They play balls into space for Erling Haaland because they know he has the space, the pace. He's a bullish striker. He is aggressive. He can win those balls. So they harness those qualities of Erling Haaland. But that doesn't mean that when they have to cut back to a number 8 to tap in and score, they won't do that. They will harness the quality majorly, but also have other ways of playing. So essentially, it's just about playing to the quality and making sure we harness the quality of Mohammed Kudus, but also having other ways to play, which is important because, like you said, the player can get injured. I mean, a lot of things do happen in football, and we want to make sure that without Mohammed Kudus, we can still go on and have a successful Black Stars.
I mean, Fifi, historically, though, when you look at how the Black Stars team has been built in past years, you know, there was a generation where you had the likes of Michael Eisen, you had Sulalu Muntari, you have different caliber of players who contributed different skill sets, which, you know, in a larger sense, went a long way to help the team to chalk some successes, especially the successes in the 2010 World Cup. Historically, has this been the model for Ghana, building the team on one player? And if not, why then will the former captain be suggesting that to be the case this time around?
I think that in the most recent past, we've had not just one trailblazer for our team. I mean, you mentioned the era of Michael Essien, Sulali Muntari, himself, Asamoah Gyan. These were all top boys in their own rights. I mean, in their various teams where they were making it happen in Champions Leagues, in European Cups and whatnot. They were playing good stuff. This time, we have not seen a lot of Ghanaian players turn up at the world stage, turn up at the various club sides where we don't have about 4 or 5 Mohammed Kudus. I mean, if you look at, say, Mohammed Kudus for West Ham, we don't have another player apart from Kudus in the English Premier League that does it week in, week out. Yes, there's Antoine Semenyo that plays in the English Premier League, but he doesn't do it as much as Kudus does it. But while ACN was bossing the Chelsea midfield, there was also a Sulali Muntari that was making things happen when he was in Portsmouth, when he went to Inter Milan. He was good in that job. Then you look at the time, even when Asamoah Gyan was on the scene as well, he was also getting things done, all in the same era. This era, we seem to have Mohammed Kudus, who is the complete standout in that team. So if we play to harness his qualities, I don't think that is wrong, essentially. I don't think that is far-fetched. I only think that we also have to do that in a structure where other players can also thrive if Mohammed Kudus isn't there. So it's something that we've not really done. I won't go back to the 90s because I don't have a clear vision of how things were done there. But in the most recent past, I don't think that we essentially built our team based on one player, but we had a couple of players that we could go and call on and then make sure that we do things well. Going from Kudus, I actually do think that away from Kudus in the next few years, we can build a team where we will not be based on just one player. We will have the Forcing Amankas, we will have the Francis Davos, we will have the Ibrahim Osmans and the other players in the team who can turn and make things happen. And we will have a group of players that will build our team and not just one player. But as it stands now in the short term, I think Kudus is the go-to guy and we have to harness his qualities.
Fifi, brilliant stuff there. Thank you very much for making time. That's Fifi Manfred, and sports analyst with our sister station, Isha FM, all the way in Kumasi, sharing his thoughts over there. Well, let's turn attention to the legacy that the African Games has left Ghana. And Executive Chairman of the local organizing committee for that competition, Kweku Ofosu-Asare, has raised concerns over the National Sports Authority's ability to maintain the newly built facilities for the continental event. Now, according to Ofosu Asari, the NSA, who are tasked with the upkeep of sports infrastructure, are inadequately equipped to preserve the Borteman Sports Complex, the Games Village, and the completed Legon Stadium.
I have been arguing for what I term as the PPP model, that's the public-private partnership, because I come from the corporate world where results are very paramount, and based on our history, if we don't adopt such a model and make it self-sustainable commercial-wise, we will be declining into the system where we term as white elephant, things deteriorating and all that. We spend enough money, that's the taxpayers' money. There were opportunity costs. We could have used the money for other things. So having used this money to do all this, we have a responsibility to maintain these facilities. So let's do it in a commercial way where we'll be able to sustain. And for instance, if we are to build a University of Sport for Development, people will come there and pay. Around it, people can build hostels, people can build entertainment centers, people can build things that will be will transform the place and make the place like a sports hub, entertainment hub, a place that will be a tourist attraction. People will want to come here and go there and see what is happening there. If you leave it in the hands of government will not be able to mobilize resources to do all this.
Not the NSA?
No, I don't think so. I'm not arguing for the NSA to take over. Why? Because after 2008, what has happened? It is not because the NSA has also been irresponsible. We have to also say that. Because the NSA has also not been really seriously resourced to handle some of these things. One has to be fair. And so I will want this model, I will want us to go for this model. And the president also has, he challenged us that we should transform the facilities into the University of Sport. In his last speech during the closing ceremony, I mentioned it, and he also mentioned it, I should say. And so it is something very dear to him. And knowing him very well, I know that he will ensure that we will build this university.
Now, a gold medalist at the just ended African Games, Mohammed Kudus, has appealed for more support in the development of young boxers across the country. The former national flyweight champion, who was among members of the Black Bombers who won gold for Ghana, believes the lack of support has led to many talented boxers quitting the sport. A situation which he believes, if not addressed, could affect the future of the sport in the country. He's been speaking to Nathaniel Atto on Prime Morning, where he also called to be included in the team for the Olympic qualifiers in Thailand.
Most of our friends and our colleagues that we start with, some of them have stopped boxing due to financial problems and stuff. Some of them too are still in the game, and I think we need a lot of support. We all come from Jamestown, and it's not that really easy for us. We are putting ourselves, we are trying all our possible best that we could get to somewhere, but as we are all doing it and we don't get a lot of support, you know, there are so many people that stopped on the way, but we just have the focus that when the going gets tough, the tough must get going. So we just put our aim and our determination and everything in it, and we hope to get somewhere.
I see. So there's a lot in terms of support that you guys need.
Yes.
Tell me about the infrastructure that is around generally. I mean, the gyms and how well equipped they are. I mean, you have been out there in the US. You've had the opportunity to go and fight outside in the US. You look at what's happening there. What would you want to see change here in our system?
All right, we have to get a lot of training equipments, and I think training equipments training equipment is the most important thing, because some of our clubs here in Ghana, we don't have good training equipment, and also the boxers, we don't have, we are lacking the financial support for real, because some of us, we just close from training, and if you don't get what to eat and all those stuff, so those ones are the most important things that I think we need. And these are some of the things when we get, it really inspires us to put much focus in the game, because we don't get it.
Let's wrap up this conversation with what you want to do going forward. There's one more opening for Olympic qualification in Thailand. Is this something you would want to explore?
All right, so I'm willing to stand for Ghana for the second time at the Olympic qualifiers, and I'm hoping to qualify also with a gold medal and to the Olympic Games also, and to bring gold medal. If they could give me the opportunity, I'm there to do my best.
You were also in Italy?
Yeah.
Were you in Italy?
No,
you were not in Italy. Okay, good. So you really want that opportunity so you can...
Exactly,
you can
I want the
yourself.
opportunity to prove myself also, to give Ghana an Olympic medal, gold medal as well.
Finally, what are you doing between now and when the team is reconstituted?
All right, so now I'm still preparing, and if they could call me a camp, I'm ready to do it also for Ghana, because not that something that I can't do it, but I've done it before and I can still do it. So I'm still preparing for that. If they could give...
Away from the local scene, let's head to England now, because Chelsea boss Mauricio Pochettino has launched a passionate defense of Conor Gallagher after the midfielder received online abuse for appearing to snub a mascot's handshake before his side's Premier League clash with Burnley last Saturday. The incident occurred in the tunnel immediately ahead of kick-off when the Blues played Burnley at Stamford Bridge on Saturday, with the 24-year-old seemingly not noticing that one of the mascots had held up his hand. The footage went viral and it led to abuse aimed towards the England international, with Chelsea subsequently releasing a statement to say that the defamatory comment made towards Gallagher were completely unacceptable and that the video had been taken considerably out of context. Now, Pochettino, speaking to the media ahead of the Chelsea's Premier League clash with Manchester United on Thursday, rejected any suggestion that the player acted intentionally and condemned the online reaction to the incident.
The Burnley game, I mean, how
that
unacceptable
it upset me so much, because no one, want to do something like this with this intention. I think he was so well. He says too many videos and photography and picture about that. Conor was really well with both mascot, and then was when you play football, when you are there and you are focusing too many things and you focus into play and to start the game. Look, that sometimes can happen, but I think people want to abuse of the people. People always to try to find things to create a mess and to abuse, the people that, if I know Conor, I know the people that, that people that is involved here in Chelsea. I can talk for the people that I know. Come on, never is that intention. Conor is a great, great kid and always is caring about everything, and I hate with the people feel free to abuse in social media, in things like this. I think we don't believe that, you don't believe that we need to stop all this type of thing. It's like today, if to abuse of the people is like it's so easy, and then is to pay attention of that also when we never happen this type of things. That is to give or to give too much, attention to the people that want to create this type of thing, to mess and to insult and to abuse to another people. I think please stop. I think we are all responsible about that. How is it possible to believe that the intention of Conor is to ignore a mascot? Come on.
Well, it's on that note that we draw the curtains in tonight's edition of Prime Sports. But there's more conversation around sports on PM Express tonight when Evan Smith hosts the former Ghana Football Association President Kwesi Nyantakyi. Please do stay.